Hi guys, my name is Bobby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you my June TBR. Sorry I've been kind of absent. I did post last week and I'm late posting this week. It is currently Thursday. I posted last Sunday, I believe it was. So I'm late. I'm trying to make it so I don't hit the 2-week mark. I have a book haul I need to film. I think all of these books should be in that book haul. But there's other ones coming in, so I don't want to film it and then have like 6 more books come in because, you know, being stuck at home and there's nothing to go do, you just buy books, I guess, because that's what I've been doing. So I have 5 books on my June TBR. Not sure how it's going to go. I'm not adding a whole bunch more. I've only read 4 books for the month of May. I've been up and down so much that I don't want to try to put too much pressure on myself and add a whole bunch. So these for sure, 2 of these for sure, I know I will definitely read, 3 probably for sure. And then kind of see how it goes and just kind of let myself mood read. I went through a huge chunk in the month of May where I just didn't feel like reading, and I allowed myself to have that time, because if I force myself to read, then I slump so hard that I don't want to read it all, period. Like it's bad. So instead, I just let myself take a couple week break, and it was just an up and down month. Hopefully this month will go better. Hopefully in the month of June, like where I'm at, we're starting to move in what they call phase 2, should be within the next month or week or 2. I think in the next week, to where, you know, some restaurants can start opening at like 50% capacity, like hairdressers, nail salons and all that can start opening. I'm just sick of all of this. I just want to go back to normal life. I'm just so done. When being an essential worker and pretty much not having your life change except for you can't go out and socialize or see anybody, but you still have to go to work and all that stuff. It's getting to the point where stress level, being overwhelmed, is like way up here. Plus, you know, Matt and I have like a lot of stuff going on. He's been really great with the kids and stuff like that. He's kind of back to work-ish. He's been helping out and like doing deep cleaning and all that stuff in preparation, hopefully, to open up back up soon. So he's got to leave the house and stuff like that. But for me, the only time I leave the house is when I go to work. So I leave from being relaxed and at home. I'm one of those people where I would have been okay with 2 months off with pay. Like, I'm a homebody usually in general anyways, but having to go to work and be surrounded by people who are just totally nasty, because it's interesting how much the general public got super nasty during this whole thing, and then coming home and, you know, just wanting to like do what Matt's doing, like help the kids with their school stuff and being able to sleep in every day and still get paid, or getting paid more than you normally would get paid. It's just like, I want things to go back to normal so my reading life will go back to normal. Because I feel like once everything gets back to normal again, Matt can work like he normally does. Kids are able to go do things, you know, stuff like that. The kids have missed out on so much already this year. It'd be nice to like, then I think my reading will get better, because I get so anxious, then I can't read when I'm anxious, and I'm so wound tight that it's just like, I'm trying. Like, I've got 4 read. I have 5 here that I want to talk about, and I've been babbling for 4 minutes and not even getting into the books. And this should be a short video because it's just a TBR. So let's get into the books and I'll shut up. First book on my June TBR is a buddy read that I'm doing with Vicky, because Vicky and I do buddy reads every other month. Sometimes we do one, like an impromptu one in the middle. Like, you know, we have buddy reads in like February, and then, you know, March, we usually don't, but if we both end up with a book that we both really like, we'll read it together just cause. But we have buddy reads planned for the rest of 2020 and all of 2021. So, you know, this is June's pick, and the next one won't be until August, but this one's June, and she hauled it on her channel, and I was like, ooh, I really want to read that. I'll buy a copy. Let's read it together. And that's We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. So I know, Claire. So I know there are people on BookTube who have read this. I've heard mixed things about it. This tells the story of a woman who never really wanted to be a mother, and she ends up pregnant and has a son named Kevin, and she's kind of cold to him from what I understand, and really doesn't like him because he's taken away her life, and it affects her marriage and all this stuff. And it's not the child's fault, obviously. He didn't choose to be born. This story is told in letters between the mother, Eva is her name, between the mother and her husband or ex-husband. I'm not sure if they end up divorced or whatever. His name's Frank, but it's like letters of what she's writing to Frank. about their son and how she felt and how things happened, I guess. So I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler because it's on the back, but Kevin ends up at the age of 15, just shy of his 16th birthday, ends up killing, I think it's 7. He murders 7 of his fellow high school students, his counselor, and a teacher, like one of the favorite teachers of the school that tried to be nice to him and include him. So it's about her trying to come to grips with, did I make my son this way? This is completely fictionalized. But it's very much a nature versus nurture type story. Like, was Kevin born this way and that he was always going to be this way? Or is it because his mom never really showed him any love or affection? And, you know, because she didn't really want him to begin with. So Vicky hauled this. And so I was like, I've always wanted to read that. I believe my sister has read it. But the print is really tiny. It's almost 400 pages. And this is not a very big paperback copy, but it's big. But Vicky and I are going to read this one together in the month of June. Okay, next is another big buddy read. This buddy read is being hosted by Brittany over at Books with Brittany. I mentioned her in my favorite booktubers video. She's a huge fantasy reader, and she just posted a video a couple of days ago saying she's going to do a month-long buddy read of this book, and she's got it broken down like what you are to read every single day. Actually, I need to look in her description because I know Brittany created a Discord group for the buddy read, and there's a breakdown there, but it goes by week. And in her videos, she described that with her paperback copy, she literally broke it down by day, like how much you need to read each day for the month of June in order to get this book read by the end of the month, because this book is fucking ginormous. And that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 1 in the Stormlight Archive. Book 4 is about to come out at the end of this year. I haven't hauled this one yet. This was a gift from the lovely Cody at Cody's Book Corner, my girl. She sent this to me. I sent her a couple of books, and she happened to randomly send me a couple of books at the same time, and we just didn't know. And so I let her know she had a couple coming, and she's like, you have 2 coming too. They're both very different from each other. One you'll probably figure I'd send you, which was this one, because she's a huge Brandon Sanderson fan, and I've read Mistborn, the first one. Started, what is it called? The Well of Ascension? Yeah, started The Well of Ascension and DNF'd it. It was boring as fuck. So I like Brandon Sanderson's writing. Like, I like the way Mistborn was written. So I know I can read his shit. It's just that one was so boring by the second book. I was just like, eh. And I guess it just didn't really interest me as much. Like, I love the magic system in Mistborn. This is fucking heavy. I love the magic system and stuff like that. But by the second book, I was bored. So this book, she got me a beautiful hardcover edition. This book is, okay, we can't count the extras, the endnotes. Okay, the epilogue. Oh my God, these have Bible pages. It's 1,001 pages. 1,001 pages. I mean, it doesn't even look that big on camera, but it's fucking huge. And they're Bible pages. They are so thin and the text is so fucking small. So I like that Brittany broke this down to where there's certain amount of pages you read a day. She goes, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's closer to 20, but it's like broken down to where you just read a little bit each day, and then the Discord so you can discuss it with everybody as you read it. And then that's the way I like to get through big tomes. Becca from Beck in the Books just posted a thing about how to get through big books, and I like that she decided to do a buddy read for this. Brittany did, because this will be what I need to read it, because most of my friends who like fantasy have already read the Stormlight Archive, and so I need to, now that it's huge. Hopefully I like it more than I liked Mistborn, because I don't even know what this one is about. I mean, I was like reading like the in flap, and I was just like, yeah. It's just, there's a lot. It's a very, very high epic fantasy, medieval fantasy, I believe, with, I think you follow like 4 characters and how they intersect. Like, I have no idea. I just know that it's a big epic fantasy. It is very, very popular among fantasy readers on BookTube, and I'm going to join Brittany from Books with Brittany's buddy read on this. Okay, next I have 2 books. I think this one... Was this one on my May TBR? I don't remember. It was my May Book of the Month pick, so I doubt it was on my May TBR unless I put a picture up. I can't remember. But that's Happy and You Know It by Laura Hankin. This was one of my Book of the Month picks for May. This is kind of like a palate cleanser. I think I had it on my TBR for May because I had started it. Did I? I think because I started it a while ago. I'm like 20 pages into it, and I just didn't pick it back up because May sucked. But this is a story of a girl who used to be in a band, they kicked her out of the band, and then after they did, they got hugely popular. Now they're super famous and make tons of money. Meanwhile, she has to play like little song groups for really rich babies on the Upper East Side in New York City. So that's where this takes place. This is about like socialites and rich moms and all that in New York who in like kind of like their drama-filled life and all that kind of stuff. So this one I'm hoping to finish in June. Like, I mean, I barely started it in the beginning of May and just put it down and didn't pick it back up again. I don't think I was really in the mood for it, but I do want to finish it because this is stuff that I really like, and it's very hard to find books like this where it's all about drama between like rich women and stuff like that. And even though the drama is usually kind of stupid, it's kind of like, it's escapism for me because I'm never going to be some rich socialite in New York. So, you know, it's escapism for me. But this one was one of my book of the month picks for May, and I need to start getting down my book of the months because there's a lot of them. I've actually thought about doing a month where I'm just allowed to read book of the month books, because I've got a lot of unread book of the month books. Next is another book that I haven't hauled yet. I got this one in the beginning of May, so this one will show up in my book haul as well, and I'm very excited to get to this one, and that's Aurora Burning by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is book 2 in the Aurora cycle, if I could speak right. Book 1 is Aurora Rising, which came out in May of last year. So this is a YA science fiction fantasy. This is a very campy series. Like book 1, I loved, I gave it 5 stars, but it's very, very campy. It's space operatic, but it's cheesy. Like Star Trek, the original Star Trek was cheesy. There is some cheesy dialogue. There is some like tropes where you're just like, oh my God, why? Like almost everybody's paired up. There's some insta love, you know, some of the stuff that I usually do not really like at all. But in this, it worked. And I think it's because of the setting and being in space and all the campy stuff. It just worked. Can't really say much about what this is about because it's a sequel. Aurora Rising was about a guy, I can't even remember his name, Tyler. So this Aurora Rising is about, I think his name's Tyler, about a teenage boy named Tyler. I think they're like 17, 18 years old. So they're late teens, who is in school to be, you know, a flight instructor, not a flight instructor. He's in school to learn to be part of a squad, and he is like top of his class. And in this world, or it's our world just in the future, so when you graduate, if you're the top of your class and he is the alpha, if you're an alpha, when you graduate, then you get to pick your own squad. Tyler is out doing like a little run or whatever before the draft happens, and he gets a signal from an abandoned ship, and there's somebody alive, and it's a ship that went missing like 200 something years ago. He ends up rescuing this girl named Aurora. By the time he gets back, everybody's already picked. He missed the draft, and he just gets what's left over, and they are called Squad 312. So in book 1, it's all about Aurora and where does she come from, and she's been in a cryopod for 200 years and everybody else in the ship is dead. How is she still alive? There's all this other stuff going on behind the scenes. The villain is really interesting. There is a little bit of disease in here. Like there's just all sorts of stuff going on. It's very reminiscent of Illuminae, but it's not mixed media format, and it's different. It's like each book, it's like a continuing story. It's not like we're doing the same, you know, where it's all separate like Illuminae was. But I can't wait to read this. I pre-ordered it, and I should have picked it up like I did when Aurora Rising came out last year, but reading slumps suck, man. But I'm excited to get to this. I will not show you the back because the back is a total spoiler, only because the back has a listing of all of the characters, what they're called: the alpha, the diplomat, the scientist, the gearhead, the warrior, the pilot, the mystery girl. And that's all of the main characters. The difference between this one and Illuminae is that in this one, these guys aren't afraid to kill their characters. In book 1, there is a main character that gets killed off, and it was completely shocking, and it wasn't like oh yeah, they're dead, and then bring them back to life. This person died. And it was very interesting because they didn't do that in Illuminae. There was no fear that you were going to lose any of your favorite characters because nobody fucking died. But that happened in Aurora Rising, and that's why I can't show you the back, because one of the people on the back is crossed off, and that would be a complete spoiler. But I hope they kind of continue that. I like the campiness of the first one, so I hope they continue that and keep it going. I'm curious to see what happens, because I mean, the last one ended on a cliffhanger. It's like, where do we go from here? And I've heard that the ending of this one is absolutely brutal and another cliffhanger, and I believe book 3 comes out next year. So I'm ready for this one to kill me. Okay, and the last book that I'm officially putting on my TBR is interesting because if I don't know why any of you wouldn't watch Books and Lala, but Kayla did a experiment, I think it was a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where she used a TBR service and had them choose her TBR, and she read the 3 books and found out that a lot of them were pretty spot on for her. So I decided I would try out the same service just to see if I could get good book recommendations, especially with specific things that everybody likes. So I decided to give it a shot. I'm not doing a big, huge, like, reading vlog or whatever like she did, but I liked the idea that, you know, she used that, so I thought I'd give that website a try, and it was really fun to fill everything out. So I tried out her service, or I tried out the TBR service, and it was really cool. It's really cool to read about all the different people who are a part of it, and all of them have very different reading tastes. So I got Liberty, I think was the one that ended up giving mine, and it did take 3 weeks or so to get it. And I didn't get the email like Kayla did, which I just realized was like, oh crap, it's been like 3 weeks. So I just went on the website and signed in and looked, and they were there. So I'm going to read one of the 3 picks for me. I bought all 3. So the one that I'm going to read is called The One in a Million Boy by Monica Wood. It's actually supposed to be delivered today, but I'm filming this in the morning and I don't want to wait till the mail gets here at like 6. But this was recommended to me because of my love for The Heart's Invisible Furies. And she said that it's a hard-hitting slice of life adult story, which is something that I do enjoy reading. I like slice of life, hard-hitting stories that has the good and the bad, and she said this is that. And it's about a boy who is like 9 or 10, I think, and he on weekends is trying to earn money for, I don't remember what he's trying to earn money for, but he's really obsessed with the Guinness Book of World Records and the Guinness World Records anyways. And so it has something to do with that. So on the weekends, he goes over to this neighbor's house, and she's like a 104-year-old woman and does outdoor chores and stuff like that and helps her out, and they develop kind of a bond. And this is not a spoiler because it is literally like on the flap. Like, it's not the spoiler. And then the boy dies unexpectedly, and so his dad takes over his chores and decides to do the last like 8 weeks or whatever that his son was supposed to do, and goes over on the weekends and helps this woman. And it's about this family's relationship with this elderly woman, like her past, stuff like that, and they all kind of tie together. So I thought that sounded really amazing. So I decided to add it on this month's TBR. There's 2 other ones that are coming. One isn't coming till like mid-June, and because it was very hard to find a copy, and the other one will be here with One in a Million today. So we'll see how it goes. I thought about adding the other one, but it's another science fiction, like a light science fiction, and since I'm going to be reading Aurora Burning, I don't really want them to clash. So we'll see. I have a couple books that I haven't gotten to yet that I've wanted to. Those will kind of just sit there on the TBR. I'm not going to really mention them, and you know, I'm just going to let myself kind of mood read. We'll just see how things go. I'm not gonna stress myself out about it. If I only read 2 books in a month, I only read 2 books in a month, which next month it might just be we need to talk about Kevin and Way of Kings, and I'd be fine with that because Way of Kings is a fucking 1,000 pages. So we'll see how it goes. Like, my anxiety's been through the roof, the world is shit, and I just haven't felt like reading. So we'll see how this goes. I'll at least read 2 books in June. I'm hoping to get my reading groove back. I think if everything around here starts opening up again and we can do things more and get out more, not be, you know, have everybody be scared all the time, then I think it'll be better. So I'm hoping we're going to get there soon because my husband needs to go back to work bad. And so, yeah, that is my June TBR. I need to edit this and post this today because I've been a slacker, and I looked at the dates and I was like, shit, bitch, you're behind. You need to actually do something with your life and, you know, film a video. But I will be filming a book haul. I don't know. My May wrap up will probably come first because I'm waiting on the one book for that my TBR recommended to me, and I don't think that one's supposed to be until between June 3rd or June 8th. We'll see. Sometimes they show up early. And there's one other book from Cody that's supposed to be coming. So once everything gets here, then I'll have a pretty massive book haul. Some of them I already talked about, so you know, you'll see them for a little bit. And then book of the month, I'll be ordering or picking my book of the month within the next day or 2. So book haul coming, May wrap up coming. We'll see what else happens. I'm just just trying to get my reading groove back and trying to feel normal. Hope you're all doing well. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, how you guys are doing. Just check in, say hi, make sure everybody's staying sane and doing okay, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.